clear government resources that can point us to the fact that there was a concerted effort by the Israeli government in 1948 onwards that meant that Jewish people, Jewish elites I should say, tried to force through genocide planned Dalit is what is genocide? It's literally so they're trying to get rid of those individuals from that country. That is referred to as genocide.
I've told you this is all after
1948.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So is that justifiable then?
No, that's not justifiable.
So, okay.
But you're mixing two things up here.
Which are? Yeah.
There's what should have happened and what did happen. What could have happened was that there's the Jews taking government, and there's Muslims staying there.
Okay.
And the Palestinians staying there.
Okay.
And there'll be some sort of country where the Palestinians and Jews sort of getting along.
We're leaving in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Where Palestinians and Jews sort of getting along without any.
Who's the ruler though?
The Jews. Because
Why
the
should
British
they be?
because that's a moral debate.
But
Whether countries
it's not a moral debate. You just
But
decide.
you agreed to me on
we
that.
accept. No, I said that was a medieval. That was a medieval construct.
I'm
saying that
what
the British
Empire. Gibraltar if it would go to
we already talked about that. That's,
you tell me.
I told you. Well, if the country's going to be consistent with its democratic principles, there's no way possible that Gibraltar can be returned back to Spain without at least a referendum from the people of Gibraltar. Do you agree with that? Referendum meaning a vote of all of the people in that country.
I'm not sure.
So you think that they can?
But the problem.
The
problem is that the people didn't choose that democratic system to begin with. If you'd have a country
that's the thing. But they didn't choose it, but they were forced into it. And that's these are the principles.
The English changed from capitalist democracy, so now.
I don't get it. Sorry.
The problem is that even the English, they weren't democratic to begin with. They took over the country without being democratic.
When
the English did, when they went conquering around the world.
No, but they still, even when they, that's not correct. Because even when they were conquering around the world, they held themselves to liberal values.
Right.
Do you know that? I mean, do you know Napoleon, when he was doing, by the way, he was referred to as the liberal dictator, which might not be democratic, but certainly is liberal. So far as holding themselves to these kind of values are concerned, there's more to be said by way of the coexistence of liberalism and colonialism, democracy and colonialism. It's not as far as to say whenever colonialism existed, democracy and liberalism didn't. They did actually coexist together in the British Empire. What I'm saying to you,
let me just finish my point. The point is that after 1948, you can't bring a proof to what could have happened.
Okay, let me.
That's what did happen. To what should have happened. After 1948, what happened was because the Palestinians didn't agree to the takeover. Where you could say they were right or wrong. Since then, there's been a major divide and split within the land, within the Holy Land, let's call it. Therefore, there hasn't been any agreement on anything. So when you bring, when you tell me that Israelis have agendas to do this to Muslims to Palestinians,
no, I didn't. All I've done, to be fair, Isaac, all I've done is provide primary and secondary source evidence whenever you've asked me for anything. So you've asked me.
So what's your point? What's your point now?
Well, Isaac, let's finish off. The point is, if you are, depending on what your moral framework is, if your moral framework is you believe that the will of the people should be respected, then we know that the will of the Palestinian people was not respected. If your moral framework is, if you're being honest and straightforward and say my moral framework is Judaism, yes? If you just say that, then I'll respect you more, to be honest with you, because you have a much stronger case.
That could also be.
Right, no, fine. If you said my moral framework is Judaism, right?
That could also be.
No, also be. It's fine. Then let's not have this pseudo-intellectual discussions about the UN and about international law, about democracy, about liberalism. Let's throw all of that into the dustbin of ideas, which, to be honest with you, those atheist Zionists, what I find incredible about it is that they adopt the Jewish position.
They create a Jewish identity as atheists.
That's however, I agree. But however, there's something more to be said by way of that. I would say if you were to take the Old Testament narrative very seriously, then it's from the Nile to the Euphrates Euphrates. So that would mean that you have to stand and also say that the Jews have as much right in Palestine as they do all the way up to the Euphrates and all the way down to Egypt. Not only just Sinai, by the way. Yeah. So not only just Sinai, so into where all those areas up until the Nile. And so if you have that position, then all you're saying is we have the right to war. What I would say, if that is your position, and I'll end with this, right?
But I don't agree to that. I don't necessarily agree to that because I could also you could say that's only the days when Messiah comes and we've been exiled.
What I would say, if that is your position,
but I don't say that's not necessarily my position.
No, but even if someone had, because that's the only way you could work the argument, and we've looked at every other way. If this is,
I never said,
we've looked at the democratic alternative. We looked at the, we looked at the post.
And also, there's another argument to be argued is that that's what happened in 1948. Okay. The question is now, what's going on in Israel?
Okay, let me just